Interesting story here. Some new political threats for Hillary Clinton today coming from a really unlikely source, the nation's most powerful labor boss, warning the candidate of serious political consequences if she supports the Pacific trade deal. Being fast-tracked through Congress right now with President Obama's strong support.
There's another alternative as well. You could not endorse for president.
Is that conceivable?
Yeah, that's conceivable.
There you go. Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry joins us live. Ed, organized labor is usually a staunch Democratic ally. I mean, when most people think Trump, they think about how many visits he made to the White House and how cozy he was with this administration.
Putting together health care.
Perhaps not so much anymore, given this trade deal. But what's the significance here?
I think it's a shot across the bow. I mean, I think the bottom line is, at the end of the day, organized labor is going to be behind Hillary Clinton if she's the Democratic nominee. But they're upset that she just won't take a firm position on this Pacific trade deal. And the reason is that she kind of wants to have it both ways. And remember, as Secretary of State, she was in favor of the Trans-Pacific Partnership because she was working with President Obama. Now she's trying to keep organized labor happy. She's trying to keep Elizabeth Warren happy, who's running against the trade deal. And then you got Bernie Sanders in the race now. He's not necessarily a serious threat to Hillary Clinton today, but he could start getting people on the left unhappy if she's seen as being too centrist.
And it tends, you know, we all know from covering these campaigns, when these large unions come out with their endorsement, it's pretty significant. So if any of them start to withhold that, or they're saying, we're not so sure, Hillary, we might want to endorse Bernie Sanders, it could have some impact.
And will it, because again, at the end of the day, they're going to be with the Democratic nominee, right? But the bottom line is, will they be strongly with that nominee? And will they hold out the support long enough that she, if she's the eventual nominee, has to run to the left so far in these primaries that's a little harder to run to the center in the general election? Mitt Romney had the problem on the right where he had to say, I'm an extreme conservative, and then he had a hard time running in the middle last time.
Attacking that back a little bit. Another big story that I know you're looking at today is this Sidney Blumenthal piece that he was paid $10,000 retainer, essentially, from the Clinton Foundation. What's that about?
Well, I mean, look, we already knew from the emails that came out last week that he was basically advising Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of State, even though President Obama and his aides had banned Blumenthal because he was too controversial, too radioactive, from actually working at the State Department. He was going around that. He had business deals going on in Libya as a consultant, and then was advising Hillary Clinton on the post-Benghazi situation, on the post-Gaddafi situation, trying to drum up business there, but also providing her with intelligence information about what was happening on the ground in Libya. And I think that's why Republican Trey Gowdy has been asking questions from the Special Benghazi Committee in the House. Not just what kind of intelligence he was providing to Hillary Clinton, but then why was he being paid by the Clinton Foundation?
Yeah, well, the Clinton Foundation is the big question there, but they could say, well, we have a lot of people who are advisors to us, right?
Sure, but if he was mingling that and advising her officially as a Secretary of State in a government position,
that's a problem.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the latest polls here for Hillary Clinton. We got a lot of polls this morning from Quinnipiac. Apparently, we don't have the polls to put up on the screen.
We
know what they are. She's ahead, but she looks a little vulnerable.
She certainly does. Look, where I think the good news for Hillary Clinton is when you put her up against any potential Republican nominee among the more than a dozen candidates we've all been talking about, she beats all of them handily except Rubio and Paul. So they're the only ones today, anyway, we're a long way away, who would give her a run for the money in the general election. That's interesting for her. This Quinnipiac poll shows most people think she's a strong leader. But on the other hand, she's underwater when it comes to, is she honest and trustworthy? That's why the stories like the Sidney Blumenthal issue, Bill Clinton's secret corporation in Delaware, if people don't trust her, that's
Bill Clinton had tough numbers in that department, too, and he won anyway.
Right, he did. And that's what the Clintons are banking on. Yeah. No doubt about it. And look, she's far ahead on the Democratic side, as you say. She's a likely nominee. But in the general election, will all of this add up to something? We'll see.
We'll see. Good to see you, Ed.
Good to see you in person.
All right. Bill?